Welcome back to the show. Commanders win on a prayer from Jayden Daniels in a battle, quotations, air quotes, of two rookie quarterbacks. Lots going wrong here, including Tyreek Stevenson more interested in the fans than the ball until he gets too interested in the ball and tips it to Noah Brown. That ends the game. Now, after the game, he took to Twitter and said to Chicago and teammates, my apologies, lack of awareness and focus. Game's not over till zeros. I can't take anything for granted. Notes taken, improvement will happen. So that's good.
It's after skipping out on the media and getting a personal foul earlier in the game and general clown-like behavior.
Yikes.
I mean, it was. I mean, he didn't talk to me. I mean, it was ludicrous what happened, and it was the single most important play of this NFL season.
Just strategically,
and he was
not talking to the media is a savvy move there.
Okay,
he was doing the same thing on the play before, where they allowed the out pattern to get close enough for the Hail Mary. He was doing the same thing.
Right, your biggest takeaway here.
Listen, great job by Jayden. Jayden has a broken rib or bruised rib or something, and
because he's so slight.
Yes, correct. That's exactly right, Coach.
He can't play through pain.
He's more likely to get hurt. But if you are more likely to get hurt, seeing that you can play through pain is important.
Yeah.
And he was. I mean, Washington moved the ball up and down the field, but had to keep settling for field goals. And then they were going to lose. I mean, and now they would have been tied with Philly in a dogfight, and the Bears would have been in great shape. Now the Bears are in last place. They're a game clear, and it's because of that play. Because the story could have been that despite, we can show you, we can show the play, but also since Wilds wants to make this, the Caleb trash hour, since Trevor's not in the discussion right now. He played very, very poorly and nervous for the bulk of this game, and then the final two drives was excellent. Yeah. One drive, they should have taken the lead, but they were like, hey, let's hand the ball off to our backup center.
I wanted.
And then the next drive, they did score, and that would have been the story. And it would have been a real Rookie of the Year race, even though the stats would have been different because of what happened. But instead, they lose an unforgivable loss, just an unforgivable loss. Jayden deserves a ton of credit.
It's pretty great that they play the whole game, huh?
Yeah.
not just those drives where he has bad.
Yeah, well,
that's pretty good the way that works out. And the thing that's been so good about Jayden Daniels, is similar to C.J. Stroud, is he's changed the whole complexion of the organization. Yep. When you've got a young player like that, that's not only talented but has that type of work ethic, maturity, who gets an injury, figures out a way to practice on Friday, and then play, and then create a play like that. It's really transformative for an organization, just like we saw it transform Houston last year with CJ. And Caleb is in the process of trying to do the same thing in Chicago. I just think the impact right now that Jayden's had, not just with ability, but with his attitude and work ethic, and the plays like this could change the whole trajectory of the season for him.
Yeah, look, there's a sizable gap right now between Jayden and Caleb. Right now. I mean, we'll see if it continues because Caleb had been playing well. But yesterday, for the most part, he had about 34 yards
prior to the variant.
Yeah, through the first three quarters. Jayden hasn't had a bad game yet. A bad game. He hasn't always played great, but he has yet to have a bad game. There's something special about him. And that play, I would just say for Tyreek Stevenson, to me, this should be a lesson for a lot of players. Guys celebrate way too much. All right, I get celebrating the touchdown. I don't even mind the defensive, running down the other side of the end zone and celebrating, even though that's getting a little tired. But these dudes are celebrating.
Trouble. Must win.
Must win.
Must win.
Ravens go into Cleveland and they don't
couldn't
make a
lose that
sandwich.
game. Oh, no.
They don't put their feet up. They didn't even get a soda pop.
Really?
No.
The best team in the league's lost 3
A
times?
couple sips of Kool-Aid.
They do let Jameis throw 3 touchdowns and lose 29-24. Here's Lamar.
Every loss is frustrating. Because we've been doing so good. Offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball. We just been putting points on the board, keeping teams out the end zone. We just got to play better. People probably look at Brown's record and be like, oh yeah, that's a sorry team. But it's like, this the NFL. I always say that this is the NFL, and any given Sunday a team can be good. Any given Sunday a team can wake up and just it'll be their day, be their day. We just got to play better all around. That's all.
I think Lamar was trying to be complimentary there. It felt like he was dissing the Browns. Like, they look like a sorry team. Brew, are you worried about your Ravens?
Not this loss. It happens. And there were smart people saying years ago, Jameis Winston was a dark horse MVP candidate, and he was. They'd be playoff contenders.
Yeah.
If they were playing Jameis all season.
Or Flacco.
But a loss, it happens. I'm not worried about that. I judge everything by can they beat the Chiefs. And with this defense, now I'm still optimistic because they got a long way to go. This defense is not a Super Bowl defense. Now, they have a culture of defense under John Harbaugh that I think they can improve over time, but they better get going now. Because, they're 26th in scoring defense.
We can show you their defensive numbers.
Let's see the numbers.
Yeah, I mean,
last year they were
not
top.
good.
Last 2 years they've been top 3 in scoring defense. They're 25th in yards allowed.
Yeah.
Last 2 years they've been top 10. And they got the worst pass defense in the league.
Yeah.
Now, some of the analytic numbers show that they're covering guys. There's not a lot of separation.
Whatever.
But the problem is this. Miscommunication and blown coverages. And look at this score when the Browns went ahead 20-17. Look at what's going on before the play. Yeah. That's my problem. Why is that happening? I respect John Harbaugh as a coach and a man. He's got a Super Bowl. But look, they look like a poorly coached team to me right now.
No,
I respect. What is that, Coach?
Well, sometimes there's probably a blitz to formation, so they're looking for the side that the blitz is going to come to. I think initially they thought it was going to be set to the left. Then it was a 3-by-1. They were bringing the pressure to the right, so they just had to get the guys over there, and that does happen. I don't think that's necessarily.
But
poorly
this
coached.
happens to them every game.
Well,
every game they seem to have.
I think it's more a function of they just won two big games. They're riding a 5-game winning streak. They're playing a team that's lost 5 in a row. Jameis Winston hasn't started in 2 years, and so these are the hardest games to coach, to try to get your guys up for this, and they just figured at the end of the game they'd figure out a way to win it.
I get that.
Without having to be as tight as they need to be.
Yeah, I don't mind the loss. You're gonna have regular season losses. They lost to the Browns last year.
Yeah, but
all right,
losing to two
it's
one-win
the
teams is bad.
miscommunication.
Yeah, I mean, losing to the Raiders and the Browns twice in the first 8 weeks of your season is pretty bad. Listen, this was the best. This all week long I had to listen. This is the best team in football. All week I had to hear it. I had to hear how the defense is coming on and the offense is unstoppable.
DPs.
The offense has 2 MVPs.
Well,
and then,
they
in this game, this is what happens when the Ravens lose. People are like, man, why Derrick Henry only get 11 carries?
Yeah.
But the reason is because all week long, everyone was singing Lamar's song about how his league MVP's never played better.
Yeah, we got to give more than 11 carries.
Okay, well, but so it's, sure.
Saw this.
Guys, the Baltimore Ravens in the year 2024 have played 11 games. They've lost 5 of them. The Baltimore Ravens, it's just facts.
Calendar year?
Okay, so, yeah, that was fine. This year, they've played 8 games. They've lost 3 of them. If you barely win more than half your games, you're not a juggernaut. And the Ravens have been discussed like a juggernaut. They're not.
What are they?
They're a good team. They're a good team.
They're one of the Chiefs are up above everybody, and then the Ravens are with just about anybody else.
Nah, I don't know that I agree with that.
Someone's got to be the second best team.
Right, Detroit is better than them.
No, in the AFC.
In the AFC, you won't like my answer.
Don't say Bills.
They pounded the Bills.
And the Chiefs beat them, and I heard all week they were better than the Chiefs.
Welcome back to the show. A month ago, Rodgers beat the Patriots, and afterwards said the Jets' biggest struggle was going to be handling success. Oh, well, they haven't won since. And after this loss to the Patriots, interim coach Ulbrich said, quote, "This is a moment of darkness." Here's Rodgers' response.
Yeah, I've been in the darkness. You got to go in there, make peace with it. Offensively, our goal has just got to be score 30. Doesn't matter what the other two sides are doing. You know, we have trust in our defense and teams. But if we're not scoring 30, we're underachieving. This offense can do that every single week.
Buddy, what are you talking about? First of all, can I just take off before I pass the ball? If I was like, Nick, I've been in the darkness every night. it gets dark in my house. Like, buddy, it's not you. It's the whole world. We're in the darkness for about a third of our life.
Also, the Jets are the only team in the league to not score 25 this year. So I think scoring 30 regularly would be
Well, the
tough.
season just
All
started.
right, listen.
Do you think he was jabbing at the defense?
No, listen.